For me and the Lord, we got an understanding. We're on a mission from God.
Well, good morning, good people. Mark Holmes here, of course. Joe Boo is back at the Man Cave. But we got Bucky, the Beaver, here. And as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. Double check and make sure that you are still subscribed to the channel. YouTube is having some hiccups and things, and people are getting unsubscribed, and their notification bell is being unrung. So go ring your bell and make sure that you're still subscribed. And if you're not subscribed and you've been watching in more than one or two shows, what are you waiting for? Subscribe to the channel. It really, truly helps the algorithm. We're sitting here on Saturday, a day before all hell breaks loose. We've got some really great games this weekend. We have, of course, the Rams taking on the Eagles. We're going to find out which one of these teams is really for real. Will the tush push get banned? It seems to be the ground swell for some changes to be made on how that's being called. And can the Cowboys get their second win, getting above 500 for the first time since the beginning of last year? Yeah. So before we get into everything that is the Dallas Cowboys, I came across this DeMarcus Ware with Marcus Mosher on Fanside of interview, and he's talking about Micah Parsons. We're still a bit butthurt about that situation. When you trade away a generational talented player, it hurts. Listen, I know you're trying to act like it doesn't, but it hurts. And you look at it and you see all the love and everything that's going on. You're seeing he's getting, holding calls now, and he's not doing podcasts and things. And you feel a kind of way about all of that happening that didn't happen here. And in the end, it may be a case where it's good for both teams. And I can point to one that was very deja vu, which was DeMarcus Ware. When the Cowboys ended up cutting DeMarcus Ware because they were looking to save money, basically they saved about $16 million, the Dallas Cowboys also lost Jason Hatcher, who went to the Commanders after having an 11-sack season, and Sean Lee, the heart and soul of the defense, had his knee torn up in OTAs by a young offensive guard, Zach Martin. You lost your three best defensive players. Now, here's the thing that's kind of crazy is, for the 4 years preceding that, the Dallas Cowboys did not make the playoffs. And that's with DeMarcus Ware. Lo and behold, because that was 8-8, 8-8, 8-8. Lo and behold, the craziest thing happened. The Dallas Cowboys, which were 32nd in defense, lost their top three defensive players, and they dropped down to 17th in defense. And they were literally the catch, no catch away from the NFC Championship game. It's crazy. It doesn't seem to make sense, but it's true. Now, for the Cowboys, we've gotten some really good pieces, and we've been actually very, very fortunate because Solomon Thomas is not getting a whole lot of love, but he's playing really, really well at tackle. Clark has been everything and above, taking on the double teams. He's what you had hoped you were going to get out of Mozzie when you drafted Mozzie. Osendigizua, great. Our problem now is edge rushing. We'll see if Clowney becomes a difference. But I want to go to a little bit of this because DeMarcus Ware said he can still play about 13 plays a game.
Oh, shit! Oh, shit!
Maybe they might want to give DeMarcus Ware a call.
It'd be a lot of fun. I think we're expecting a big shootout. First of all, I want to know, listen, the Cowboys need some pass rush out there. How you feeling right now? You think you give us 15 snaps? You think?
I might can give you 13. I can give you 13 snaps for about 13 third downs out there. But
that's all we need. That's all.
We do need some pass rush because the last two games, the last two games that we've seen that, it's been a shootout. just like you said. I mean, it's been high scoring games and it's all the way down to the wire because neither defense has been playing well. But I'm just talking about the Dallas Cowboys defense being able to get more pressure and pressure times to, get the ball back to Dak so he can, light the scoreboard up.
So I saw your reaction to the Micah Parsons trade. I saw the video, and honestly, I was feeling about the exact same way. Total shock. I was out on the golf course when it happened, and I kept looking at my phone. I didn't want to believe it. So let's talk. Why do you think this happened? And why do you think Dallas made this trade? Because to me, even a month later, it still doesn't feel real. I can't get over it.
It doesn't feel real. I remember texting Micah that morning. This was before any trade stuff, before anything. And he was like, "Hey, bro, I'm going to hit you up in a couple hours." And I'm like, "All right, cool. Let's talk. Let's talk about what's going on." And all of a sudden I look back. I'm like, wait a minute. Whoa. Because he's like my next door neighbor. He lives down the street. So I'm like, hold on, wait a minute. He's going to Green Bay and he still hasn't returned my call yet. So I'm a little mad at him because of that. But anyway, I think it's one of those things when you have a team like the Dallas Cowboys and there's a lot of missing pieces, not just Micah, right? And for what they got from Micah, Jerry is thinking that, from my perspective, we weren't going to win a championship this year from one player. So what can I do for these next 2 years to get every single arsenal that I need to make sure we win some football games going in the future? Like, they got a good nucleus right now, hands down. They're going to have a good season, I feel like, a consistent season. But now if you got, 2 more first-round draft picks the next 2 years, getting some star players coming in there, and now you're going to start seeing the old Cowboys that we used to see.
Yeah, and Jerry has talked about before how he regrets not doing enough to get you a Super Bowl win, to get Tony a Super Bowl win. And maybe he feels like, and I agree with you, that like this team with Micah, it's going to maybe be a 9-win team, maybe a 10-win team. And that just wasn't going to be enough. And this is a way for the Cowboys to give themselves a different avenue, some hope in the future. But I think Cowboy fans are they feel like they had a generational pass rusher once walk out the door and win a Super Bowl in Denver. I don't know if you know who that guy is.
I don't know who that guy is, but
yeah, I think they're afraid that's going to happen again. Like, hey, Micah leaves, and the first year that he's gone, this Packers team is unbelievable. I think it's awfully hard for Cowboy fans to stomach that.
But okay, put it this way: if I would have stayed there with the Dallas Cowboys, we maybe would have won the Super Bowl. But I left and went to a team that had all the things, and we won a Super Bowl. Micah went to a team that have a high potential of getting there, right? But if he would have stayed, was the Dallas Cowboys going to win a Super Bowl?
No.
I would say no.
No.
So let's do what we need to do. And I am a fan. You know what I mean? Like, I am a fan of Micah. I am a fan of the Dallas Cowboys. I am a huge fan. So for me to say, all right, let's make a business decision. And let's go get what we need. So now I can start sitting back and eating my popcorn and start seeing some W's light up on the screen.
All right. So last thing before we head out, when you went to Denver, and again, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't remember there being a lot of vitriol and hate for you making that decision. Honestly, I think it was a lot for the front office.
Okay, I can go ahead and leave it right there. But you get the gist of it. And I have to agree with DeMarcus Ware. Now, people, of course, will say, "Oh, you're just trying to, make lemonade out of lemons and stuff, and it really sucks." And this, listen, we did this over and over again. We constantly paid top of the market for a lot of players and have star power. But in the end, when I look at the New England team that was a dynasty, they had Tom Brady and Gronk, and then they filled in the pieces. It wasn't necessarily that we've got all these players for the length of their careers. And we've seen us holding on to the Tyron Smiths to the point where he just literally breaks down and you've got nothing. Same thing with Zach Martin, Travis Frederick. You can go down the line where we've gotten great players, Zeke Elliott, and we paid them, and then there's diminishing returns except for the paycheck. And then there's nothing there to replace them. And they're keeping you good enough that you're competitive, that you're keeping interest, but you're not bad enough that you can draft the players to replace them. At least with this situation, on paper at least, you know that you've got 2 first-round picks. And if you end up drafting a Tyler Smith and a CD Lamb, or if you end up getting a Tyler Guyton and a Cooper Beebe with, that first-round picks, and you do that twice, hey, you're ahead of the curve, because ultimately there's too many places that need upgrades. We see our secondary. We could have Micah right now, and we would be worse to stop than run. Probably the Giants don't end up getting 450 yards passing, because Micah's making some of those plays. But I can guarantee you they probably would have been running a lot better. So it's kind of a double-edged sword. It may be that having one great player doesn't outweigh having several really good ones. And that's the hope, at least. And, you can kill them for doing it. You can be mad about doing it. But at least they're trying something different. Now, speaking of trying something different, the NFL is under siege about the tush push. My honest feelings on the tush push is you need to figure out how to stop it, because they came up with something that works. Then you have to figure out how to stop it, except for one thing. If they are lining up off sides, and I talked about that last night, you understand there's a neutral zone. If guys are in the neutral zone, then it needs to be a flag. If guys are jumping off sides, there needs to be a flag. They're not calling these things. They're not. And so when you're supposed to be the guard and your head, your ear hole is supposed to line up with the belt buckle of the center, and you're in the neutral zone, you can't let that play go. That's my take on there. And if you say on the defense, you can't push people in there to try and block the punt the field goal, then you shouldn't be able to push people to get extra yards. So, again, I'm just a layman. Let's get a former official's perspective on this, on why it's a mess.
Hurt short, and it looked like he scored, and we got to spend 2 minutes.
You said I'm done with the tush push when you were part of the crew in Kansas City.
There were really 3 that stood out. Well, 4. There was the 3rd and goal play where they ruled Hurt short, and it looked like he scored. And we got to spend 2 minutes reviewing it and looking for the football and all these bodies. Then on the 4th and goal play, they false start that doesn't get called. They false start again later in the game. And then the last one where I made the comment was Eagles are trying to get the first down to run out the clock. They run the tush push. It's a big pile. The Chiefs come out with the football. They're waving. They have the football. The officials don't do anything. And I've got Brady and Burkhardt looking at me in the booth like, what's going on?
Right.
And it was just a visceral reaction where I was like, you know what? I am done with this play. There's no hard data that says this play is any more dangerous than other plays in the game. But the league has in the past, I think about low blocks and some of the chop blocks and some of the things they've outlawed. There wasn't a ton of injuries, but the league said this is putting our players in a position of unnecessary risk. Let's be proactive versus reactive. We don't allow the defense to push in field goal formations because the league felt it was dangerous. The second argument I have is that it's a competitively unfair play. If the defense hits the running back at the line of scrimmage, stacks him up, and drives him 10 yards back, the offense isn't going to lose 10 yards. But we allow the offense to push and now gain an advantage in that instance. And it's also a hard play to officiate consistently. It just really is. This is more rugby play. It's not a modern football play. It's not a fun play to watch. Saquon Barkley last year has one of the most incredible, he's hurdling people backward, right? Wouldn't we rather watch Saquon Barkley try to get a first down? Look, it's legal. Eagles do it better than anybody. Good for them. League's got to get 24 votes. They couldn't. And it's here for at least this year.
You said I'm done with the tush push.
Okay. To me, that's a great argument about the tush push. Now, clearly, all eyes are now on the tush push. It's definitely under assault. And we'll see if they actually do. It may be that it's more lip service. Well, they're going to call it tighter. Well, again, let's start with the neutral zone. Let's start making sure that the guards are back where they're supposed to be. And then let's watch if they're firing off. And I'm going to say that probably plausible deniability is because they're crowded so much on the line, they can't see the football and see when it really takes off. That's the problem with it. You almost need to use instant replay to see, look down. Use the instant replay. You've got the whole ball marker thing in there. Look and see how they're lined up. Lord knows we see it every week and see their offsides. And Eagle fans are going to say, you're just a hater. Well, that's fine. I hate the Eagles, so call me a hater. All right, so as we're rounding the corner here, one of the things that we were sold on is how bad the Cowboys' running room is. Now, again, we've only got a small sample. We've got 2 weeks under our belt. And right now, Javonte Williams is having a renaissance. Javonte Williams, when he came out of college, had a lot of promises. First year had 903 yards, 4 TDs, and averaged 4.4 yards a carry, which was outstanding. But then he had the injury and never seemed to get quite right. His best season since then was 23 when he got 774 yards running, but it was only 3.6 yards a carry. And he admitted that his knee didn't quite feel right until this year. Thus far, he's on a tear. He's averaging more yards per carry right now than he has at any point in his career, 4.6 yards. And if you don't think that that's very good, right now he's averaging almost a yard more than Saquon Barkley is, and Saquon Barkley has supposedly the best offensive line in football. And keep in mind, we just went against one of the best front sevens in football against the Giants. And be it as they may, going against the Eagles without Jalen Carter, still a really good defensive front. So looking at this, you're saying, okay, I see you. Now the question will be is, can he finally get his first 100-yard game since then? This might be a good week to be able to get this. And we're actually very, very blessed to have him. A lot of people are wanting to see less of Miles Sanders and seeing Jalen Blue. Unfortunately, Jalen Blue, we had heard rumors that people said that he was kind of a little bit lazy and not putting in the work. We've heard the coaching staff talk about consistency, and they've said kind of the same thing with him as they have with Mozzie. And that's not where you really want to be in that same comparison right now. So right now it looks to be still Miles Sanders and Javonte Williams. But Javonte Williams, running as well as he has made life easier for Dak Prescott. I want to go to his interview right here, and this way we can get to know him just a little bit better because we really have not heard him talk much this offseason and season.
Part was just mentally. Just believing in yourself again, trying to get over that, believing that you can still do everything you did before.
Cowboys Nation, we have another good one coming for you for First and 10 this week. Presented by JCPenney, I'm Nicole Hutchison, and Javonte Williams joined with me. He was a fresh face coming in this offseason, but already making his presence felt here in Dallas. Javonte, what's up, man? How you doing?
Chilling. I'm just glad we got our first win.
Yeah, you got your first win, and you also have now 3 rushing touchdowns through 2 weeks of the season. How much of it is, when you think about the way you started here, how much of it is you finally being fully healthy, and how much of it is, this offense just getting the best out of you?
Yeah, like you said, I think it's a combination of both. Just being healthy. I think a big part of it is just my confidence. Just the way the coaches embrace me, my teammates. It just made me feel good being here. And like you said, we got playmakers all over the field, so it opened up the running lanes.
Yeah, confidence. Talk about a 30-yard touchdown run going untouched like it was just nothing.
Motion now from Tolbert, inside handoff, Javonte Williams, and he breaks free, and Williams has a head of steam, and Williams to the end zone.
Where would you rank that amongst your rushing touchdowns throughout your career?
Yeah, probably second behind my first one.
Okay.
Just my first one in the NFL. That was a big one for me, but that one definitely felt good.
Walk us through the first one. Walk us through the first one. Take us down memory lane real fast.
Yeah, my rookie year, we playing against the Jets. It was probably like a 1 or 2 yard rush, but it was just a milestone, just making it to NFL, finally scoring a touchdown. My parents being there to see it. It was a big deal, and I mean this one was big too, because this is where I had my surgery at.
Yeah.
Dr. Cooper did my surgery, and he was like one of the first people to come up to me on the sideline and like tell me congratulations. So that felt good too.
That's dope. We're gonna get to you being in Dallas and your relationship or familiarity with Dallas in just a few, but I do want to talk about that touchdown run, because you've known for, and I've said this before to you, you've been known for lowering the shoulder and punishing defenders and things like that bruiser style. But when I look at the film, I see some burst, I see some explosiveness. Do you feel like that's a part of your game that kind of gets overlooked sometimes?
Yeah, definitely. And I feel like a big part of that is just knowing the scheme now, just being more comfortable, knowing the plays, knowing where it's supposed to hit, being able to set up the blocks, and my O-line. I mean, I got the best O-line in the league.
Hey, best O-line in the league. I love it. I love it. Has that always been the case though? Growing up playing football, or not even growing up, but through college, do you feel like that was a part of your game that was overlooked?
Yeah, definitely. I always felt like I was versatile. I mean, I am physical, but I feel like a lot of people try to just place that tag on me. I feel like I can really do everything on the field.
I want to talk about your journey. You were telling us, of course, that you played linebacker your first 3 years at high school. You didn't start playing running back till your senior year in high school, drafted to the second round out of UNC, battled some injuries, right? Had some success as well in this league. How would you define your journey in the NFL?
Really like a roller coaster. I mean, it'd be some days you be up and then some days you down. I mean, that's probably just life, but you gotta be able to deal with it, take the highs with the lows. You can't get too high, you can't get too low. You gotta try to stay even keeled.
And one of those lows is, battling an ACL, MCL, PCL injury in 2022. What was kind of going through your mind as far as the future of your career at that time?
It was rough. I mean, like I said, I had never got hurt before, maybe like a sprained ankle or something like that, but tearing my ACL was crazy because I didn't really know what to expect. I didn't think it was that serious when it first happened. I just seen like my teammates like sad and all that. I'm like, I'll be back next week. Like what y'all mad about? But then when I found out like how serious it was and how much worse it could have been, that's when it really like hit me hard, and just the rehab, all that. I feel like the hardest part was just mentally, just believing in yourself again, trying to get over that, believing that you can still do everything you did before the injury. Yeah, and then just everything else that came with it. You don't really get to be around the team. You kind of feel like you're an outsider, so yeah.
What kind of kept you going?
Really my family. I mean, they were there with me every step of the way. They came to Denver when I was hurt. They stayed the whole time, like took off work for like 2 months. Yes, made sure I got the treatment, rehab, all that. So yeah, just seeing them every day, that kept me going.
Aside from that, how much has your family meant to you? You've spoken about your family before and how big they played a role in your career, the man you become. How much do they mean to you?
Yeah, they mean everything. I think only game my dad ever missed was we played the Browns 1 year in Cleveland. Other than that, he's been to every game since I was little, all the way to now. He still come to every game. So, I mean, just the support and the love that they showed, it just keep me going, keep me motivated, and help me mentally.
They helped you keep going mentally. And some guys are kind of labeled after injury, that they can't return to their former self. What did you say to that criticism?
Yeah, I kept hearing it, and that's why I was so frustrated the past 2 years, because I'm like, I know I can still do it. It's just not happening right now. I just gotta keep believing in myself, and I'm just glad everything's starting to come together.
And look at you now. Yeah. I mean, balling out in Dallas.
Handoff, Javonte Williams, bang at left guard, and the Cowboys score the first touchdown of the season.
When you got the call that you were coming to Dallas, what were you doing, and what went through your mind?
Yeah, I was actually back home working out, and Coach Foster had called me and was talking to me and just introducing himself. And I remember him from the Chargers. Like right after I signed, I remember I was talking to Coach Shoddy, and I was just like, I don't know, everything just feel like that was the right decision. Like I didn't know back then that all this was gonna happen, but I just felt like, I don't know, that's where I'm supposed to be at.
And you talk about the culture here, right? I mean, were you expecting at that time for it to be a culture like this?
Yeah, nah. Like I was talking to GP the other day, I was like, I ain't never been a part of nothing like this since college. I just kind of feel like college, just how everybody get along with each other. People hang out, like we actually hang out outside of this. We go to each other's house. I mean, I was just at Joe's house the other day. We went to the NBA YoungBoy concert. So just little stuff like that. I mean, it's small, but it go a long way.
I could say the same, just being here for couple of years, I've seen the camaraderie really change and the difference that, Shotty has really made here. So that's something that's, I think, is very special. But there was also some doubt amongst fans, amongst the media of, whether or not Javonte Williams would be the answer at running back. What did that fuel in you?
I've been dealing with that for like the past 2 years, and really, I really try to like cut it all out, because I remember it'll be days I just go look on Google and just see everything people be saying. I'm like, dang, bro, like it really might be over, but then I just had to lock back in and just believe in myself, trust in God, and just know you just gotta keep going. I mean, it ain't gonna just happen overnight. But I really kind of started tuning that out and just started focusing on myself. Like, just make sure you're doing everything right, so down the road it don't hurt you. When I first signed, I remember CD had texted me, and he was like, bro, I want you to be the same player you was that one time y'all came to Dallas. So I mean, just having players like him, I mean, just seeing the way he worked, GP, I mean, Dak, everybody really on the team, just seeing how hard they work, I was like, I can't let these boys down.
There you go. That's my running back. Alrighty, good people, as always, I appreciate you guys. Don't forget, we'll be starting out about 1:45 for the early games to watch the Eagles. That's going to be a big one. And, of course, our Cowboys. We've got, of course, the Green Bay versus Baltimore, another big game. Is Green Bay really as good as everybody thinks, or can Baltimore derail them? This and more answers answered tomorrow. I'm Mark Holmes, and I appreciate you. Peace out.